Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness here on thrilling Thursday in Connecticut. On another hot and sticky one here in Connecticut, but next several days it's going downhill. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Old school endurance. This takes a little bit of explaining, and I'm not sure if there is that much of a difference between what was going on back in my day and now. Okay? I'll let you be the judge. Let me honk a little bit. I have played. We'll see what we got. I haven't played pick in a long time. Weeks. Wide open double C's in Tartini. Don't tell me life ain't good. Anyway, endurance. Okay, here's the deal. I think, and this is getting very, very specific, and this is totally on my perspective here, and you might think differently than I. Okay, here's the deal. There is the endurance to be able to play first thing in the morning until last thing at night and finish strong last thing at night. I do believe that endurance separates the great ones from merely excellent. Herseth, Mel Broyles could play all day. Doc Severs could play all day long. And end the night on G's above high C, double C's. Okay? And there is another type of endurance, being within the context of a piece of music. Being able to play from the first note of the Arban characteristic study down the entire page without taking it off. That is a different kind of endurance. And let me explain both. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if the difference is that extreme from old school to now. Okay. Here's the deal. Back in the day, when I was playing full time, we would play all day long, every day. If we weren't practicing, we were doing rehearsal bands, working, taking after-hours gigs at night out in Queens for Latin jobs. Finish the Broadway date, hop in a cab and go out to Queens. Played all day long. And I took great pride in my physical fitness and all that sort of stuff, that I could end the last set on a G or an A, right, high at a Latin job at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay, on a Saturday night. Go home, catch a couple hours sleep, and be fresh as a daisy for a church gig, 9 o'clock in the morning at St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's endurance, guys. That's endurance. Endurance to the point where you're not beating up your chops enough so much that you need a 3-hour workout in the morning before you ever get to the church gig. Okay? That, I don't see those situations anymore. I don't see the modern player having enough situations to play that they would do something like that. Now, Doc Severs would either practice or be playing professionally. He just would. He went through 4 wives. He admits that that was part of it. Now, alcoholism and drug addiction and all that came into it, if you watch that documentary. But guys, this was his life. To a lesser degree, That was my life. I did not work as much as Doc did. But in different types of jobs, all that sort of stuff. But we used to play a lot. My brass quintet would play a lot. I had a thriving Broadway sub business, per se. I never had my own show. I was everybody's sub. Okay? And from that, I got road tours and all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, I never had my own show. And between Latin jobs and Hasidic music, now I put which is brutal playing, I put myself through college playing Hasidic music. And that's for different, but I played pretty much all day and still getting 3 to 5 hours practicing. That, guys, is endurance. Okay? The endurance getting to the top of the page, to the bottom of the page without taking it off your chops, I think is highly overrated. Highly overrated. I can't think of one orchestral piece that requires that type of endurance. I can't think of one. Every single one of them has time. Get that mouthpiece off your lip. The lead playing, since the beginning of time, they realize what these high notes entail, and there's plenty of rest in most lead charts built into the music that you're not doing top of the characteristic study to the bottom of the characteristic study. Okay? Jazz, improv is a different thing. And I get to that in a second. Okay? But we've got Broadway shows, very, very little real endurance thing. There was one. If I were a rich man, Fiddler on a Roof. The last 8 to 10 minutes. Very, very tough for the lead player, endurance-wise. Not insurmountable, but that could be a tough thing. And I guess that was nothing compared to the beginning of the characteristics or the Charlier study or whatever. So I think that endurance that so many of the guys, the teachers, are trying to incorporate is worthless. Is worthless. Okay? You may feel differently. I think, on the other hand, I think the endurance from the beginning, first thing in the morning to last thing at night, I think is huge. I really and truly believe that that separates the great from merely excellent. And that can be absolutely 100% trained to do as long as you are staying in your happy zone and as long as you are taking it off when you start to crash. Now, once again, most of the music that you come in contact with does not require that type of endurance. Okay? So as long as you have the time to take it off, stop, spit, buzz, reset, you're going to be in good shape. You should be in good shape. All right? So, old school endurance, I don't see a big difference in it. Only the reason is that back in my day, in the roaring 70s, which there was work for everybody. Everybody worked. Back then, you had more chances to play than you do now. So that first thing in the morning to last thing at night comes to fruition more than you would think, than it does now. Other than that, I don't see a big difference with it. And at the end of the day, I've done many videos on this, but endurance is one thing and one thing only. The ability to stay relaxed in the corners for a period of time. And I won't get into that because we've talked about that before. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about if Herseth took an audition today or Mel. All right? Now, next week, guys, I'm going to give you a kettlebell week. Guys, I feel strongly about this. I have been for years. If you are not incorporating kettlebell into your trumpet playing, you're leaving notes on the floor or in the ether or wherever you want to leave them. Okay? And we'll talk about that next week. I'm going to give a whole week on it. Tone, power, range, and endurance, and how the kettlebell affects it. All right? Anyway, with that said, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk a little about Herseth. Keep that in mind about your endurance. Stop, spit, buzz, reset. Eat and drink your fruits, vegetables, and starches, and live your life with true power. Love you all.